After 11 weeks of training, I was looking like this. If you click on this video, you probably want to get shredded, do you? I got you covered. In this video, you're gonna learn exactly that. The most important thing, if you want to get shredded, is to hit the like button. The science is pretty clear about that. At that point, I'm training for 25 years, and believe me, I thought I know it all. The year is 2015. I'm reading anything and everything all of the time. Diet, fat loss, low intensity, high intensity, training, strength training, hypertrophy training, like strength endurance training, everything. I stumbled across a guy who was sharing his training system, well recognized in the industry, and I decided to get lean with his system. And this here is my shape with doing his program. To make it shorter, the system was simple. 50 grams of carbs a day, 50 minutes of cardio per day, and the result, as I said, was this. Not bad, but this will be nothing compared to what you are about to see after a second. Meanwhile, I'm still training people in the gym and training myself. I also decided at that time that my genetic potential when it comes to leaning and retention of muscle mass was already achieved. But boy, if what I'm going to tell you never happened, I will never know what I was capable of. So I will use this segment just to tell you, if you think you achieve your genetic potential, the chances are you're not. Before I uncover what exactly did, and you can do it too, I want to ask you for a favor. My goal is to the end of this year to reach 1,000 subscribers. Please consider subscribing. Having that out of the way, let's go to my crazy transformation. One day in the gym, one of our friends that we're training with at that time asked me why you don't compete in bodybuilding. It's gonna be very good for your business. And how obvious this was. If I competed in bodybuilding, I can achieve even better shape, and then more people will see that I know what I'm talking about. Therefore, I'm going to get more business. And damn, he was really right. But at that point, I was like totally off when it comes to ideas to compete or anything. I never thought about it, really. And how obvious this was. Of course, when I train all the time, when I know all of these things, I have to challenge myself to the higher level. Obvious, but I didn't see it. I was blind for that specifically at that time. I was to be a competitor. This will happen like a long time ago. And then suddenly, this thought come to my mind. Why not? And what's the worst thing can happen? The worst thing is I can go rediscover again that this was really my genetic potential, and that's it. Nothing scary about that. I was about to be right again. But I start looking for coaches. The first that I found goes by the name of Lane Norton. Most of you probably know about who he is. The things did not work out so well with him and his team, and it was too complicated. I decided to keep looking. Then, luckily, on the MD or Muscular Development Forum, I found somebody who is going to be my coach. He was really brilliant. It seems like he really was knowing what he's talking about. I decided to shoot him a message. His name was Matt Porter. I was very lucky to find him, but today we are very unlucky that we lost him. He was just 32 when he passed away. But this is a topic for another video. Rest in peace, Matt. I sent him an email. Like shortly after that, he replied to me. I sent him back email, and I wanted to emphasize the importance of me being natural and wanted to stay that way. I don't want to use steroids. For my surprise, he said, no problem. And the competition was on. And he asked me one more thing, how much time we have? I said 11 weeks. From then on, the timer was on. And this is exactly what we did. I was training 7 days a week. My macronutrients were, after receiving the diet, 400 grams of protein. Yes, you heard that correctly, 400 grams. We're gonna get back to this after a second. 220 grams of protein and 40 grams of fat. The cardio prescription was 18 minutes a day, 7 days a week cardio. Good for me, I did not overthink any of that. I just started applying. I did everything what Matt asked me, like 100%. All the proteins, all the carbs, all the cardio, all the training, everything. And after 2 weeks, man, I looked in the mirror and I could not believe what I was seeing. I mean, I tried so many diets before and I looked bigger, leaner, more vascular, more tapered than ever before. What was happening here exactly? To understand that, we have to compare to my previous diet. For the first diet, I started around 2000 calories, but now with math, we start with 2200 calories. As I said, in only 2 weeks, I already was seeing like a great changes, but I was eating more calories. Some of you, as me back then, may wonder why this was happening. First, I have to introduce a term: thermic effect of food. This relates to the amount of calories our bodies are burning just to break down and digest the food. Fats have the lower thermic effect of food, carbohydrates have also lower but a little bit higher thermic effect of food, and the proteins have the higher possible thermic effect of food. And the reason is because the proteins are harder to break down for the body. But the thermic effect of food for 400 grams of protein may end up to 320 calories burned just because you eat all this protein. And let's look at this example. 200 grams of protein is equal to 800 calories, with 10% of thermic effect of food will be equal to 80 calories, just to digest it. For 400 grams of protein, will be equal to 1600 calories, and with 20% thermic effect of food, you're gonna burn 320 calories, almost 3 times more. If I ate 2000 calories, I will end up with net amount of calories 1920. But the thermic effect of food, if I eat 2200, will be 1880, with almost 100 calories less. And can you see where the magic happened? The more protein you eat, the more you burn, and even higher you go, you can end up like actually if you're eating less. In other words, the more protein you're eating, the more your body is burning. And if the amount is sufficient, you can create slight deficit or doing less cardio by increasing your protein intake. I think this really is the key. I'm telling you this by experience, because when I watch other trainers and people talk about it, they were like, yeah, 1 grams, 2 grams per pound per body weight, it's okay, but usually this comes to around 200 grams. That's why for so long I was blind really what my body was capable of. I was either getting hungrier, so I quit any type of diet, or I was doing too much cardio, and for that reason this just overwhelmed me, and I stopped and started the diet and everything all together. My point is, I'm just telling you what worked for me and why you may also want to try it. But also, why is the reason that this trick works? And of course, this is approximation. The word protos comes from Greek and means first. This means is the first thing that we can work with, the most important one, the first thing to look at. Protos, protein first. With this in mind, let's keep going and to see what exactly you can do to replicate the results. The other factor was cardio. The choice of cardio, as I said, was high-intensity interval training. We started with 18 minutes, 7 days a week, which equated to 126 minutes a week. And there was no way I will feel hungry. To eat all of these calories and proteins, I have to eat 7 times a day. And high-intensity cardio was blending my appetite even further. So for the first 5, even 6 weeks, I did not feel anything like hunger. And I have to eat 57 grams of protein per meal, which equated to like 8-10 ounces. And that's a lot of food, let me tell you that. Compare that to like a couple of pieces of pizza when you eat 1000 calories without even thinking about it. At week 4, Matt boosted my cardio with 10 minutes and increased the protein with additional 20 grams when we decreased the carbohydrates with 10 grams. This is very common way to do like a small changes. And remember the thermic effect of food, so we increase the protein to 410, even 20. And then from the carbohydrates, we reduce it to 180 as well. But the point is, you reduce a little bit from here, you increase a little bit there, you want the net result to equate to net calorie deficit for the balance. The shape was getting better and better to a point where I almost can't believe it. And remember, I have very long experience to that point. And effectively, I was seeing that everything I think I knew was not true. And this is the important point. Not that is not true, but we reach certain conclusions about our progress and we stop there, where it's actually the point to start trying something new or to look for help. And I believe this is even more true outside of bodybuilding, outside of losing weight in life. Always challenge yourself. Always. We just don't know what we don't know. That's a fact. For the next couple of weeks, we were just repeating these steps, adding a little bit more protein, cutting a little bit carbs, adding a little bit more cardio. We did the cardio till the week 10 because in week 11 was the competition. But this is a broad overview what I did just structurally. Now you have the idea. High protein, start with moderate carbs, little bit high intensity cardio, do it consistently 7 days a week. Equate in your math that the thermic effect of food is a factor, but don't over rely on it because, as I said, it's approximation what I just said. Maybe it was 10%, maybe it was 20%, but one thing I can tell you, for the hunger hormone, specifically ghrelin, was great. I did not feel hungry. At certain point later, when I was very lean, I really felt like low energy, but I never really felt hungry for food. Hungry for sweets maybe, but not for food. At 50 minutes high intensity cardio a day, let me tell you, I was dead. I even sent an email to Matt and I was like, can we just do something with this cardio? Unfortunately, we did not change anything. We did the whole thing, all time we were increasing it from 18 minutes all about to 15 minutes and we stayed there. For those of you who wonder, we did the cardio separate from the training session, but not in the morning because it was not convenient for me. I did training around noon, like between 12 and 3 afternoon, and then I get back to the gym at night to do my cardio. Done is better than perfect. If you can't go in the morning, go at lunch for the cardio. If it's not possible at that time, go at night. The thing is, when you challenge yourself to do everything in your power to fit the cardio, the training and the diet in your schedule, there is no other way around it. And here is the summary of the video that you can take and apply in your own training. If you're eating 100 grams of protein, bump it up to 200. If you're eating 200, eat 300. If you eat 300, experiment with 400. I want to emphasize something. You already have to be healthy. If you have problem with your kidneys or anything, it may not be ideal. And it's plenty of research that demonstrate that even 4 grams per kilograms of protein per body weight is actually not harmful for the kidneys, I think for a period of 8 weeks or something. So we have that in science, but still be cautious, like be mindful, know your own situation. But higher protein, it will give you higher results. Higher protein in terms of weight loss, fat loss, is gonna be very beneficial to feel less hunger, to build more muscle, where for the gaining it's not exactly that right. If you want to gain muscle, don't eat that much protein because carbohydrates and fats have their role in the whole metabolism, but still keep that in mind. And remember, the best diet is the one that you can stick to. On the cardio side, if you don't have a lot of experience, start with 5 to 7 days a week for the first 2 weeks when you increase your protein and moderate your carbs, just to see how the whole thing is working, but also to in a way to explain to the body how to metabolize the fats and all this fat metabolism to be optimized to work with the remaining fat, just to get out of the body. Cardio is good. Once you notice that you're losing pound or 2 a week, you are on your way. Don't change anything, just repeat what I just explained, like 6, 8, maximum 10 weeks. Then stop the cardio, lower the protein, increase the carbohydrates. You can stay in the same moderation with the total overall calorie intake, but the point is to give the body break, to give chance for all the hormones to recover. We call this diet break. Still be cautious, don't go overboard, but this is topic for another video. I'm making it look like a model, but really what's the goal is I want you to see how something is working, and from then to take it and make it your own. You're gonna find a way to modify it, to do it for a less time, for a long time, more aggressive, less aggressive. In other words, how you can implement what's working for fat loss in your daily life for a long run. Because not everybody wants to be competitor. Even I don't want to be competitor anymore. You can watch and rewatch this video. You can send me a message in Instagram or Facebook if you want to know more about my coaching services and eventually somebody to guide you along the way. But even without that, you already knew how I got that shredded and what's the impact of 400 grams of protein to my body composition, and I believe it will do the same for you. Be smart, do your own research. I'm not a doctor after all or anything like that, but I just wanted to share this with you. Comment below, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Leave the comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Biceps.